There is a silent crisis that's unfolding in fields and farms across the globe, threatening our food supply and the delicate balance of our ecosystems. Today, we diving deep into one of the most pressing environmental issues of our time, the mysterious and alarming disappearance of bees. You've probably seen the headlines or typed it into your search bar. Why are bees dying? It's a question that scientists, beekeepers, and governments are desperately trying to answer. For years now, we've been witnessing a phenomenon known as colony collapse disorder, or CCD. This is when the majority of worker bees in a colony disappear, leaving behind a queen, plenty of food, and a few nurse bees to care for the remaining immature bees. It's like a bustling city suddenly becoming a ghost town, with no obvious signs of a struggle. The scale of this problem is staggering. Beekeepers in the United States and around the world have been reporting unprecedented losses. Imagine being a beekeeper who has tended to your hives for generations, only to find them empty and silent one morning. Recent reports from 2024 and heading into 2025 are painting a grim picture, with some beekeepers losing over half of their colonies in a single winter. This isn't just an agricultural issue. It's an economic and ecological catastrophe in the making. So what's causing this beepocalypse? The truth is, there isn't one single culprit. It's more like a perfect storm of stressors, a deadly cocktail of threats that are overwhelming our buzzing buddies. Let's break down the main suspects. First on the list are pesticides, specifically a class of insecticides called neonicotinoids, or neonics for short. These are systemic pesticides, which means they are absorbed by the plant and spread throughout its tissues, its leaves, flowers, nectar, and pollen. When a bee forages on a treated plant, it ingests these chemicals. While a single dose might not be lethal, chronic exposure can be devastating. Neonics act as a neurotoxin. They scramble the bee's internal GPS, impairing their ability to navigate back to the hive. They can also weaken their immune systems and interfere with their ability to reproduce. It's like sending a soldier into battle with a faulty map and a compromised immune system. The odds are stacked against them. Many countries have started to ban or restrict the use of certain neonics, but they are still widely used in many parts of the world, posing a continuous threat. Next up is habitat loss. Think about it from a bee's perspective. For millennia, they had endless meadows filled with a diverse buffet of wildflowers. Now, those meadows have been replaced by vast monocultures, endless fields of a single crop like corn or soybeans. This is the equivalent of you being forced to eat nothing but potatoes for every single meal. Not only is it boring, but it's also nutritionally deficient. This lack of floral diversity means bees aren't getting the varied diet they need to stay healthy and robust. Furthermore, urbanization and development are paving over the very land that once supported these vital pollinators. Fewer flowers mean less food, which means weaker bees that are more susceptible to other threats. And that brings us to our third major suspect, parasites and diseases. The Varroa destructor mite is public enemy number one for honeybees. This tiny parasite is like a vampire for bees. It latches onto adult bees and their developing young, feeding on their fatty tissues and weakening them significantly. But the real damage comes from the viruses it transmits. The Varroa mite is a vector for a whole host of debilitating viruses, like the deformed wing virus, which, as the name suggests, causes bees to be born with shriveled, useless wings. A bee that can't fly is a bee that can't work, and a colony full of sick, grounded bees is a colony on the brink of collapse. Beekeepers are in a constant battle against this mite, using various treatments, but the mites are becoming increasingly resistant, making the fight harder every year. Finally, we have to talk about climate change. Unpredictable weather patterns are wreaking havoc on the delicate timing between bees and the flowers they depend on. Flowers might bloom earlier due to a warmer spring, before the bees have emerged from their winter dormancy. Or a sudden cold snap could kill off the blossoms, leaving the bees with nothing to eat. Extreme weather events like droughts and floods also destroy habitats and food sources. Climate change adds another layer of stress to an already overburdened system, pushing bee populations closer to the edge. So, you have pesticides disorienting them, a lack of diverse food weakening them, parasites and viruses making them sick, and climate change throwing their entire world out of sync. When you combine all these factors, it's no wonder bee colonies are collapsing. It's a multifaceted attack, and the bees are caught in the crossfire. But why should this matter to you, especially if you're not a fan of honey or getting stung? Well, it's simple. About one-third of the food we eat depends on pollinators, and honeybees are the undisputed champions of pollination. Take a look at your plate. That apple, those almonds in your granola, the blueberries in your smoothie, the cucumbers in your salad, even the coffee you're drinking, all of them rely on bees. Without bees, farmers would have to pollinate these crops by hand, a process that is incredibly labor-intensive and expensive. The result? Food prices would skyrocket, and the variety of foods available to us would plummet. The vibrant, colorful produce section of your grocery store would look drastically different and much emptier. The economic impact is enormous. Pollinators contribute billions of dollars to the global economy each year. The loss of bees threatens the livelihoods of farmers and everyone involved in the food production chain. But the consequences go beyond our dinner plates and wallets. Bees are a keystone species, meaning they play a critical role in maintaining the structure of their ecological community. They pollinate wild plants and flowers, which provide food and shelter for countless other animals. The disappearance of bees would create a domino effect, leading to a decline in plant diversity and destabilizing entire ecosystems. It's a bleak picture, but this is not a eulogy for the bees. It's a call to action. The good news is that we can all be part of the solution. You don't have to be a beekeeper or a scientist to make a difference. It starts right in your own backyard, balcony, or even a window box. Plant pollinator-friendly flowers. Bees love native plants, so look for species like lavender, bee balm, sunflowers, and coneflowers. Providing a diverse and continuous source of nectar and pollen is one of the most effective ways to support your local bee population. Think of it as opening up a five-star restaurant for them. You can also create a bee-safe environment by avoiding the use of pesticides in your garden, especially neonics. Opt for natural pest control methods instead. If you must use a pesticide, apply it in the evening when bees are less active and never spray it on open blossoms. Another simple tip is to provide a water source. Bees get thirsty too. A shallow dish of water with some pebbles or marbles for them to land on can be a lifesaver on a hot day. On a larger scale, we need to advocate for change. Support policies that protect bee habitats, restrict harmful pesticides, and promote pollinator-friendly agriculture. Support local, sustainable farmers who use bee-friendly practices. Buy local honey. Not only is it delicious, but it also supports beekeepers who are on the front lines of this crisis. The more we demand bee-friendly products and policies, the more likely we are to see real, systemic change. The fate of bees is inextricably linked to our own. They are a tiny but powerful indicator of the health of our planet. Their struggle is a warning sign that our environment is under immense pressure. By helping them, we are not just saving a small insect. We are taking a crucial step towards safeguarding our food supply, protecting biodiversity, and creating a healthier world for ourselves and for future generations. Let's turn our concern into action. Let's make our gardens, our communities, and our planet a more bee-friendly place. The silent hum of a bee is the sound of a healthy ecosystem at work. Let's work together to make sure that sound never fades away. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it to spread awareness. And don't forget to subscribe for more content on how we can make a positive impact on our world. See you next time.